Team USA goes undefeated in Group C, moving them in to the quarterfinals with a bye. There was a fight in the Olympics, which we didn't think we would be seeing over the 2-week tournament, and a whole lot more of action over the weekend. And we're here to break it all down on Florida Panthers Daily. What's going on? I'm Andrew Sheridan, back here with you for a new week, Monday, February 16th. And I mean, the weekend was jam-packed with Olympic hockey, and we're just getting started. The knockout stage moving forward will have Team USA as the 2 seed, as Team Canada was able to clinch the number 1 seed. We will get into that in just a minute. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below, because we are going every single day, Monday through Friday, of course, here during the Olympics, but also once the Panthers regular season gets back underway. And of course, for Team Canada, a Panthers player missing because of injury. Of course, it's just the way the Panthers season has went. So we'll break down the remaining 25 games as the Panthers continue to chase for the playoffs, or maybe that top 10 pick, because that pick is protected from the trade last year. Let's jump in to the Olympics now here on Florida Panthers Daily, part of the Fan Arch community. You see there it says Q Freebird, and that is because the Americans are 3-0 in Group C and will be the number 2 seed as we enter the quarterfinals. They will be back in action on Wednesday, but let's look back over the weekend. On Saturday, beating Denmark 6-3, fell behind early in that one, in large part because Jeremy Swayman in net. I saw a tweet. It was pretty funny. It was like, what does he think he's playing the Florida Panthers in the playoffs again? That one was pretty funny. Of course, if you were watching the game, you saw that he gave up a goal on a shot from center ice. Yes, I'm not joking. I didn't get to watch much of this one. I was at a basketball game. The person in front of me did have this game on their phone, and it was funny. He would just kind of, every time there's a goal, throw it up, be like, 4-1, 4-2, whatever the score was, and he would show me the replay. I'd be like, oh, thanks, man. Like, I really appreciate this. So I was watching it, but not as closely as I should have been. But that goal from center ice, pathetic. Pathetic. We'll get into the goaltending a little bit just in a second. USA's offense was too much for Denmark, though, in that one. Tkachuk picked up his 3rd assist of the tournament. Matthew Tkachuk, that is. Again, I'm calling him Captain America for this tournament. His 3rd assist and point of the Olympic tournament. And then yesterday, USA would jump on Germany and win that one 5-1. Matthew Tkachuk now up to a team-leading 5 points. He picked up 2 assists yesterday for the red, white, and blue, and he might have got 2 assists, but the true captain, Auston Matthews, who's wearing the C on his chest, picked up 2 goals for Team USA. And my best bet for this Team USA team when we broke it all down last week, Tage Thompson, leading goal scorer. Well, that looks pretty good. He only trails Auston Matthews. He was able to pick up his 2nd goal and light the lamp for the Americans as they again would go on to beat Germany 5-1. It's got to be Connor Hellebuck in net the rest of the way as we enter the quarterfinals on Wednesday. Still waiting an opponent. We'll get into that in a little bit. But Jeremy Swayman, after the performance on Saturday against Denmark, I think we saw all of him for this Olympic tournament. USA 3-0 in Group C, and they will be moving on with some momentum. Of course, I mentioned they are the 2 seed because Team Canada is the 1 seed after what they were able to do in the group stage. But it is interesting, the 1 and the 2, as long as it wasn't 1 and 4, you knew Team Canada and you knew the USA would be shaping up for a gold medal match, hopefully on Sunday. I was very happy the way it shook out. We didn't have to worry about the 1-4 and seeing them in the semifinals, and one of those teams would be walking away with a bronze. Team Canada picked up the number 1 overall seed in large part with a 10-2 win over Italy. I mean, you kind of expected that one to go the way it did. Brad Marchand did not play in either of the last 2 games for Team Canada, and he only played 9.5 minutes in that first game. Again, he was dealing with injury as we came into the Olympic break. Didn't know how much he was going to be used. When we saw him play in that first game, we saw his minutes were limited for Team Canada, and again in the Olympics you can carry that extra forward, which happens to be Sam Bennett for this Team Canada team. So we did see Sam Reinhard and Sam Bennett. They both picked up their first point of the tournament against France, but Brad Marchand, good news for both the Panthers and Team Canada, as he skated with the team yesterday at practice. Supposedly he was out there for about 40 minutes. So Brad Marchand is cleared and good to go for the quarterfinals when we get there on Wednesday. They will take on the winner of the Czech, who they already beat, and Denmark on Wednesday. And I did not mention this, on Wednesday, the Americans will take on Sweden or Latvia, the winner of that one. So Canadians, the Canadians 3-0 in the group stage, the number 1 overall seed. And how about it? an Olympic fight. Tom Wilson versus France. We said last week when we were previewing the Olympics, we didn't think we'd see many fights. This tournament is not like the Four Nations from just a year ago where they're dropping the gloves right on puck drop and we're setting the tone for this one. No, a little more class in the Olympics, but we did see the first Olympic fight. I wonder as we now get into the elimination games if maybe not a trend, but we see this more often, especially in a game, maybe especially if it's a gold medal game between America and Canada in the championship, hopefully on Sunday. Let's jump in now too, because of course before the quarterfinals we do have the qualifying rounds to see who the matchups will be for the quarterfinals. Finland was able to get the 4 seed. They won their winner go home game that they had to win. Lundell missed that game with an illness. So again, Florida Panthers missing games. It doesn't leave just in the regular season of the NHL. It's bleeding over into the Olympics. It seems like the Panthers just can never escape it. Of course, they led the NHL with 10 players playing in this Olympic tournament. Only 8 have played every single game so far because of injuries. It seems just like the way this season has gone for the Florida Panthers, again, sitting closer to the basement of the Eastern Conference than they are of looking into the playoffs as we get ready to head down the stretch. I mentioned Finland will be on that 4th seed. He will be back for the qualifying round, I would imagine, or excuse me, they're the 4, so they also auto go on to the quarterfinals. If they win that one, they'll face Canada. We'll break that all down right here on Florida Panthers Daily as these games continue to happen. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Follow me on all social medias at AJ Sheridan Radio. We will be doing this every day, Monday through Friday. Nico Mikala and Eetu Luosterainen both had an assist in their 11-0 win over Italy. So we kind of expected it to be easy in that one for Team Finland. It was. Lundell, they didn't miss him too much. And when you win 11-0, 14 different players getting on the score sheet, I don't think one player being out and Anton Lundell would make that big of a difference, and it clearly did not. I think the bigger difference we saw in the first game against Sweden was them not having Alexander Barkov in this tournament. I mean, gosh, I still wish that he was playing right now, both for the Florida Panthers and Team Finland. I think this is an event he would thrive in, and it's not just when the whole country's watching or the whole North America's watching, but the whole world is watching this and could learn to appreciate Alexander Barkov. Of course, still coming back from injury. He is not taking the ice for Team Finland. Also in the qualifying rounds, you'll have the 5 seed versus the 12 seed, the aforementioned Italy. You kind of expect the 5 seed Switzerland to advance in that one. But hey, we've seen CRAZIER. That probably would be the biggest upset so far of the men's tournament. You have the number 6 seed Germany taking on the number 11 seed France. These games will all be on Tuesday in the qualifying round, so no games today in the Olympics. And then the number 7 seed Gustav Forsling and the Swedens will take on number 10 Lativa. Uvis Balinkis and Sandis Vilmanis will both be suiting up for Team Lativa. The 10 seed, this is a game I think will be close with a lot of cats in this one. Vilmanis is ranked 3rd for their forwards. He's had about 18 minutes of ice time, and he's ripped off 2 shots on goal so far in this tournament. Uvis Balinkis had an assist and led the team with over 24 minutes of ice time in their win over Germany. So the Cats are on the ice, and they're getting ready to make some big plays as we now get into games that mean something. You win or you go home. And we know the Florida Panthers the last 2 years have never gone home. They've lifted the cup the last 2 years. So I expect all these Florida Panthers to make a big impact the rest of the tournament for all these teams, whether it's on America with Matthew Tkachuk, whether it is on Team Canada with Brad Marchand returning, or Sam Bennett, or Sam Reinhart, or if it's on Lativa or Sweden. I expect all the Cats in this Olympic tournament to push their teams. Obviously, not everyone could win, but I think they're all going to push their teams to that next level, saying, hey, look at what we did the last 2 years, especially for the Panthers that were there for both the years. I mean, Brad Marchand wasn't, but of course he has the experience. They're going to say, look at me. Let's rely on me. Be the leader in those locker rooms. I think we will see that a lot from the Panthers left in the Olympics. And then you have number 8 Czech will take on number 9 Denmark. Again, the Americans will face the winner of Sweden and Lativa on Wednesday. Canada will face the winner of Czech and Denmark. I mentioned earlier in today's show my best bet for the Americans coming into the tournament, Tage Thompson to lead the Americans in goals. It doesn't look too bad. So now, though, we get to where we got to make some money. This tournament doesn't have too long left before we get to the gold medal match on Sunday. So I'm going to give you a best bet for the qualifying round, not the quarterfinals, of course, because those matchups are not set yet. I'm going to go with a Panther in this one. Uvis Belinkas, I'm going to say he is going to get on the score sheet with a point against Sweden on Tuesday. We will break those games down a little bit more. Maybe look at some trade rumors going on around the NHL. Of course, practice is getting ready to start up again here this week for the NHL. The Panthers look to make a late season push, maybe like they did 3 years ago when they fell short in the Stanley Cup final. We will have action for you talking about the Florida Panthers every day right here on Florida Panthers Daily, Monday through Friday, part of the Fan Arch community. Make sure you like and hit that subscribe button below. Social medias, AJ Sheridan Radio on Twitter, X, and Instagram. Until tomorrow, let's go Cats.